Basic fire suppression training. The forests of the Pacific Northwest have been the most productive forest regions in the world. The public depends upon this natural resource for their livelihood, recreation, wildlife habitat, and many other essentials of life. Each year, wildfire is a severe threat to these forests. This training program is about safely fighting wildfire. Oregon forest laws require an operator and landowner to be prepared to control any wildfire threat to our natural resources and make a reasonable effort to control any fire that is started through their activity. Oregon OSHA's forest activities regulations require all employees engaged in forest activities that may be called upon to suppress wildfires to receive basic fire suppression training. Existing employees need to receive this training prior to each fire season. Employees hired after the start of the fire season and have not received the training can fight fire under the direct supervision of a competent person for a maximum of 17 days. The training is separated into several sections: fire behavior, fire safety, fire suppression activities, tools, and equipment. Fire behavior. Friction can ignite a fire just as quickly as a match, like cables rubbing, sparks from chainsaw exhausts or blocks, feller buncher saws, warming fires, smoking, and vehicle exhausts. The workers who first respond can do effective firefighting by controlling fires while they are still small. In order to safely control fire, you must learn about the factors that influence its spread. The more you know about fire, the more likely you are to make decisions and perform acts that will either prevent fires or keep them small. The ingredients necessary for fire are heat, oxygen, and fuel. We can control forest fires by removing heat, oxygen, or fuel. The principles influencing fire behavior are fuel, weather, and topography. Fuels affect fire behavior through moisture content, by size, and amount available to burn. Dry fuels burn faster than wet fuel. Smaller fuels burn faster than larger fuels. Smaller fuels spread fire rapidly but burn out quickly. Larger fuels ignite slower, burn longer, and hotter. When more fuel is available, fire burns more intensely and is harder to control. Wind and humidity are major weather factors influencing fire behavior. Wind makes fire burn faster by increasing the supply of oxygen and blowing the fire into new fuel. Wind can spread fire in one direction or cause it to spread erratically. Wind carries sparks and firebrands ahead of the main fire, starting spot fires. Low relative humidity influences fuel moisture, making it easier for a fire to ignite and burn hotter. Topography, or the lay of the land, influences fire behavior. Fire spreads faster on steeper slopes. The direction slopes are facing affects how much the fuels that are on them will dry. For example, south-facing slopes receive more daylight sun, so fuels are drier and ignite more quickly. Unignited fuels above the fire ignite more quickly. A fire burning in a narrow draw or canyon can easily cross. Draws and canyons can cause winds to increase and change direction. As fire season progresses, wind temperature and lower relative humidity drive fuels, causing them to ignite quickly and fires to spread faster. By the nature of the job and where it is located, forest workers have little influence over fuels, weather, and topography. They can use good practices and still find themselves in a dangerous fire environment. Smoldering fires usually occur in ground fuels such as rotten logs, duff, loose needles, and leaves. They will have little or no open flame, and the heat given off is usually low intensity, which does not radiate very far from the fire. A fog spray nozzle setting usually works best. A straight stream may throw burning material outside the fire line. Creeping fires may have active flame, but are slow moving. These fires have low intensity and do not radiate heat more than a few feet ahead of the flame. They can usually be attacked directly with hand tools, back pumps, or water hoses. Running fires are found in all types of fuels such as grass, brush, and slash when driven by slope or moderate to strong winds. Flames at the head or leading edge lean in the direction it's moving and may be 2 to 20 feet or more in length.
Somebody gonna move my pickup?
Temperatures on the head and the sides near the head are usually too intense for hand crews to make safe, direct attack. Spot fires are small fires outside the main fire perimeter. They can occur anywhere along the perimeter. Spot fires occur when burning materials, called embers, are lifted in the smoke column, rolled, or blown across the fire line and ignite unburned fuels. Wind, speed, and the size of embers determine how far across the fire line a spot fire will occur. Fire whirls or dust devils can carry burning embers across the line and may occur on any part of the fire. Increasing frequency and the number of spot fires are indicators of worsening fire conditions. Crown fires are characterized by flames burning through the crown or tops of brush or trees. Only competent firefighters should attack this kind of fire. Torching occurs when a ground fire ignites a single or clump of trees. Torching trees can occur on any fire and may cause spot fires. Torching should not be confused with crown fires. Fire safety. All fires, including prescribed fires under the right conditions and circumstances, have the potential for causing you serious injury or take your life. Learn the watch-out situations, fire orders, lookouts, communications, escape routes, and safety zones so you can anticipate, recognize, and respond in time to situations. This will make the difference between an orderly escape, serious injury, or fatality. Remember, no fire is worth human life. Recognizing the watch-out situations is the first step for survival. You can work under these situations, but you must have a heightened state of awareness. Any of these watch-out situations are as fundamental for survival as looking both ways before you leave a stop sign. You need to be able to recognize the following watch-out situations. The fire is not scouted and sized up. You are fighting a fire in an area not seen in daylight. Safety zones and escape routes are not identified. You are unfamiliar with weather patterns and local factors influencing fire behavior. You are uninformed on strategy, tactics, and hazards. The instructions and assignments are not clear. You have no communication link between crew members and supervisor. You are constructing a fire line without a safe anchor point. You are building a fire line downhill with the fire below. You are attempting a frontal assault on a fire. There is unburned fuel between you and the fire. You cannot see the main fire and are not in contact with anyone who can. You are on a hillside where rolling material can ignite fuel below. The weather is getting hotter and drier. The wind increases or changes direction. There are frequent spot fires across the fire line. Terrain and fuels make escape to safety zones difficult. And of course, taking a nap near the fire line shouldn't be done. The following fire orders identify actions to take on all fires and when watch-out situations are identified. Keep informed on fire weather conditions and forecasts. Know what your fire is doing at all times. Base all actions on current and expected fire behavior. Identify escape routes and safety zones and make them known. Post lookouts when there is possible danger. Be alert, keep calm, think clearly, act decisively. Maintain prompt communications with your forces, your supervisor, and adjoining forces. Give clear instructions and ensure they are understood. Maintain control of your forces at all times. Fight fire aggressively, having provided for safety first. One way to remember how to safely fight a wildfire is by using these simple letters, LCES. Lookouts. Are lookouts needed? Communications. Have positive communication links been established? Escape routes. Have escape routes been identified and communicated to everyone? Safety zones. Are safety zones needed? If so, have safety zones been established? Fire suppression activities. During the pre-work safety meeting, crews should discuss site-specific fire suppression activities along with other safety topics. Identify and assign fire suppression activities appropriate for workers' physical ability. Reporting fires. report all fires to the local wildland fire agency or 911.
Be advised, we have a small fire right now, but I'd like a fire truck.
Size up the fire and provide the following information. Location. Give the specific locations such as township, range, section, and or latitude and longitude, and driving directions. Size of the fire. How many acres is the fire, or is it the size of a frying pan, pickup, or football field?
Yeah, about 4.5, 5 acres. 85% slope, light fuels, and at this time we're about 10% trailed in.
Topography. Is the fire mid-slope, in the draw, or at the top of the ridge? Fuels. What is burning? Grass, slash, trees, or equipment? Fire behavior. Is the fire moving fast? Is it spotting ahead? What is the fire doing? Weather. What is the speed and direction of the wind? Give the landowner and or operator name. When a crew is on site, they should always understand how to report a fire and identify actions that can be taken to safely control the fire. Make sure workers know their job assignments and who should do what. When a single person is on site, such as a watchman, they should report the fire and describe the fire suppression activities they will take. They should also agree on a check-in system to be used and identify escape routes to safety zones to ensure the fire will not trap them. Engine placement. When sizing up where to place engines, keep 3 things in mind. Don't completely block a road. Park the engine where it can be protected from the spread of fire, and park the engine facing out. The engine may be the fastest means of escaping a fire. Using water. Get in close to what you're spraying using a fog pattern. Get on the perimeter and work your way in from the bottom to the top. Spray parallel and or into the base of the fire flames. Don't push embers into unburned fuel. Don't bring the hose lay directly down the hill toward the fire. Bring it in from the sides. Don't charge the hose until it is pulled into place and the nozzles are open. Keep the hose lay as straight as possible. Try to work 2 people to a nozzle, 1 to spray and 1 to turn material over. Water is a limited resource that needs to be used conservatively. Have a plan for when you run out of water. Fire trailing. All fires must be trailed. Fire trails or fire lines should be 1.5 times wider than the flame height, or brush and debris that will burn along the fire lines. The head of the fire and any dogleg will need a wider trail than cooler parts of the fire. The initial attack trail should be enough to hold the fire until the trail can be improved. Trails built on slopes under the fire need to be cup trenched and able to catch rolling or burning material. Keep the trail as tight to the burned off or black area and as straight as possible, preferably working with 1 foot in the black. Be aware of unburned fuel or jackpots between the fire and the trail. Be aware of stumps and snags that can fall or blow embers across the trail. Put the berm to the outside of the trail. Dirt can be used to knock down flames, but anything that is buried must be uncovered and extinguished. Build the trail down to mineral soil and cut out roots. Once the trail is built, it must be patrolled because often it is your escape route out. You don't want to rebuild the trail, and you don't want fire to hook around behind, leaving you no way out. Aircraft and retardant drops. Aircraft effectively assist ground personnel to control wildfires. Water, foam, and retardant are delivered to fires by helicopters and single or multi-engine aircraft. When aircraft work a fire, be aware of their drop zones. When an aerial drop is to occur in your work area, do not stand under or in the path of the drop. Move to the safe location away from the drop zone. Stay clear of snags, dead tops, and limbs in the drop area. Do not remain in the area if there are rocks or other materials that may be dislodged by the drop. Be cautious of low aircraft drops because rocks, dirt, brush, logs, fire tools, portable pumps can be moved during a drop. Wind generated from the aircraft itself can cause the fire to burn with increased intensity along the drop zone. If you cannot move in the clear during a drop, never run unless escape is ensured. Lie face down with your head toward the oncoming aircraft with hard hat in place. Discard hand tools to the side. Put them behind you and downhill, but not in the path of someone else. Grasp something firm to prevent being carried or rolled about by the potential impact of the drop liquid. After retardant drop is complete, clean tool handles before resuming work. Watch your footing. Wet retardant is slick. If retardant is dropped across a highway, slow down traffic or wash retardant off the road surface. Be alert for snags, treetops, or the possibility of other falling debris knocked loose by the drop. Return to your work area and take advantage of the water or retardant. Tools, equipment, vehicles, and machines. Only allow trained and qualified workers to operate equipment, vehicles, and machines. The agency having jurisdiction will determine the number and type of tools and equipment to be used on the fire. Do not use equipment, vehicles, or machines designated for fire for any other purpose. Keep machines designated for fire suppression in good condition. Immediately remove any defective machine from service. Before assigning an operator to construct a fire trail or fight a fire on steep slopes, discuss with the operator the following: limitations of the machine, soil conditions, directions of travel straight up or straight down the slope, the hazards of turning the machine on the slope. Personal protective equipment. Employees who are involved in fire suppression activities must wear the following protective clothing when fighting a fire: pants and long sleeve shirt, leather lace-up boots or other suitable footwear with a minimum 8-inch top height. The sole and heel of the boots must be of a slip-resistant material. Hand protection of at least cotton gloves, an approved hard hat which must be of bright contrasting color, leg, eye, and hearing protection if operating a power chainsaw. Don't wear synthetic clothing when you may be called upon or fighting fire. After the initial attack, if additional specialized protective clothing or equipment is required, such as fire-resistant clothing or fire shelters, it will be provided at no cost and personnel will be instructed in its proper use. Remember, make sure a communication system is established and everybody understands the checking system. Evaluate your surroundings and situations at all times on all fires. Start your attack at the lowest, coolest part of the fire and build the fire line along the flanks or sides working toward the head or top of the fire. Never attack a fire without identifying escape routes, evaluating the need, and establishing safety zones and starting from a safe anchor point. Usually, a direct attack should only be attempted on the coolest part of the fire. To control the spread of the fire, you should start from the coolest part and work towards the flanks and the head. Be aware that burning material can roll down steep slopes and cross the fire line. The fire trail on the downhill side of the fire should be trenched and cupped to catch this rolling material. Lookouts and patrols with communications to personnel on the main fire should be posted anytime spotting is occurring. After a fire, things that were once stable now could move with ease, so watch for falling or rolling material. Escape routes usually are side hill or down and out away from the fire. Don't try to outrun a fire up a hill. The smoke and heat may overtake you. Fire moves fastest where people move slowest, in brush and uphill. In lighter fuels, the best safety zone is usually in the black or burnt area. If you need to escape from harm's way, leave your equipment. You can start over. In summary, if a fire starts from any cause on the active logging operation while the logging is actually being done, the logger is required to make every reasonable effort to extinguish the fire. This is a requirement of law, and failure to comply may make the logging contractor responsible for all fire costs. If a fire does occur, the firefighting agency must be called immediately. If you get the fire out, report it anyhow. Remember, the best fire is the one that never starts. It could be your job that burns up.